What was the average cost to train a new team member in 2022? Enter the poll by scanning the QR code with your phone or by going to menti.com and use the code on the slide 39881568. And you'll see the results pop up on the slide. Good. I see we have one response. Three. Okay, it looks like responses have slowed down. Well, according to the Association for Talent Development, the average cost to train team members in 2022 was $1,220 per team member. And unfortunately, the retention rates are staggering. Type in the chat the percentage of content you think is retained within the first hour after training. Okay, looks like we have several guesses. We get 30%, 50, 75. Well, research based on the forgetting curve suggests that within the first hour after training is complete, only half of the content is remembered, meaning half is forgotten. 24 hours after training, 70% is forgotten. And 6 days after training, less than 1 week, 75% or three-fourths of what the team member is supposed to learn is forgotten. That equates to losing an average of $915 per trained team member. Thankfully, there are ways to reverse those averages. At Mercury Performance Group, we believe in the hero effect. Our goal is to empower each of the clients we work with to be the hero of their organization. Here's what you can expect after you implement the 3 ways to fast track learning retention we're going to discuss today. You'll ignite enthusiasm in your L&D programs, fostering active engagement over passive consumption. Your team members will become more self-aware and adaptable through intentional self-reflection. Ultimately, these methods will cultivate a harmonious learning culture in your organization, emphasizing continuous growth, knowledge sharing, collaboration, and accountability. So, why is learning retention important? Please share your thoughts in the chat. Okay, great. Thanks for participating. I'm saying professional growth, better decision making, increased knowledge. Yes, those are all reasons. So let's discover some others. Learning retention is important. Because we're able to make more informed decisions, be more efficient at problem solving, and contribute more effectively to our roles. We become more adaptable by applying new information to remain relevant, which also allows us to focus on more advanced training and professional growth. And as team members grow, the empowerment and satisfaction they feel grows. The bottom line is affected when increasing learning retention because the number of team members needing retraining decreases, which obviously saves the organization money. And the more team members retain, the stronger the inchworm effect becomes, which is when an organization's high performers pave the way for mid-level performers to grow. If you want to learn more about the inchworm effect, type your email address in the chat, and at the end of this webinar, we'll send you information about it. So, why aren't team members retaining the information they're supposed to be learning and training? This slide is the most important slide of this presentation because it's going to help you determine where your organization needs to focus to improve learning retention? If you answer no to any of the following 5 questions, you've identified the reasons why learning retention is low in your organization. Is the content relevant, allowing team members to apply what they're learning to their job duties? Is the content non-lecture based and provides learners with opportunities to practice what they're learning or to interact with a facilitator and each other? Or if it's e-learning, do team members have opportunities to interact with the content while they're completing the training? Does your organization's learning culture encourage collaboration, information sharing, and continuous learning? Are learning programs developed in ways that accommodate learning styles and cognitive abilities? And do post learning plans include opportunities to apply what was learned, as well as resources and accountability for improvement? If you answered no to any of these questions, you've identified the reasons why team members are forgetting what you're expecting them to learn. Does anyone want to share any of the questions you answered no to? And if so, which questions? You can type them in the chat. Okay, I see someone answered that most of their trainings don't have activities. Okay, well, let's turn those no's to yeses. The 3 solutions to fast track learning retention are active learning, self reflection, and learning culture. First off, let's talk about active learning. Active learning needs to focus on strategies that prompt learners to engage in the learning process actively rather than passively consuming information. The goal is to encourage higher order thinking skills like analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. You'll see on this learning pyramid that retention is much higher when participants play an active role in their learning. When I say active learning, what words come to mind? We are going to create a word cloud. So if you can go ahead and scan that QR code if you already closed out of the first poll question, or you can use menti.com and use the code on the slide. Enter the words that come to mind when you hear active learning. Okay. Interesting and fun, hands-on, collaborative, interactive. Great. Yes, great. Those are all fantastic action-driven words. So now let's move on to discuss some active learning options. First, group projects. Group projects encourage learners to apply what they've learned, solve problems collaboratively, and engage in meaningful discussions. Scenarios are real-world examples that learners can examine and discuss, which fosters critical thinking and problem-solving skills. Here's an example of conflict resolution scenarios I developed for a nonprofit that focuses on rehabilitation. To facilitate scenarios, present the background information and an objective for team members to focus on, and then allow time for team members to share their findings with a larger group. Role playing can be a fun and effective active learning activity where participants act out roles to tackle real world scenarios. It's engaging and hands on, helping learners actively apply and practice what they learned. Here's a sample role play I developed for a performance review conversations course for one of our restoration clients. Like scenarios, provide the participants with the background information and an objective. After the role play, debrief the activity to make sure the concepts are reinforced. Educational interactive games provide a fun and competitive way to apply knowledge and engage in problem solving. Jeopardy, Kahoot, and Bingo are some online options. In think, pair, share activities, the facilitator poses a question or problem to the group. Learners first think about their response individually, then pair up to discuss their ideas, and finally, they share their thoughts with the whole group.
Hey, Brandy, can I jump in for a second
Absolutely.
while we're waiting for other examples or to get to that section? So, can you maybe give some real world examples with some of our current clients of how you've used some of those previous methods as you've developed learning for their teams?
Sure. For our pet services client, one activity that was really fun to develop was to help the front of office associates upsell some of their additional services. So we were able to take conversations that they were able to role play to get a feel for what their conversations would look like. And so it took the associates, it brought up their comfort level in being able to have those conversations with the current customers and increase sales and those additional products that they offer.
Thank you. It's helpful.
So, what are some other examples of active learning activities that come to mind? You can type them in the chat. Demonstrations, teach backs. Great. Yes, those are some of my favorites. Whatever you can get, however you can get the participants up and moving and working together. And then online, yes, system simulations are great active activities too to reinforce what they're learning. So thank you for sharing. Remember, the key to successful active learning is to ensure activities are structured, relevant, and engage learners in thoughtful and reflective learning. The activities should motivate learners to interact with the content, their peers, and the facilitator. Next, let's focus on the second method to fast track learning retention. Plan time for self reflection. Self reflection enables team members to better comprehend and apply their learning. It encourages active engagement, deepens understanding, and strengthens retention. By reflecting, learners can understand their learning style better, identify areas where they excel, and uncover areas for improvement, guiding them to focus more on those areas to enhance learning outcomes. Reflection helps learners connect and build on new information, which aids in long term memory storage and retrieval. When learners reflect on what they've learned, they gain a deeper understanding of the material. They're not just memorizing facts, they're considering the how and why behind the information. Self reflection also enhances problem solving skills. By reflecting on how they approached a problem and the result they achieved, learners can identify more effective strategies for the future. Reflection turns learners from passive recipients of information into active participants in their own learning process. Self reflection also cultivates skills such as self awareness, critical thinking, and adaptability. So, as they move through different stages of life, these skills will help them continually adapt and grow. What challenges do you experience when it comes to self reflection? Type them in the chat, please. It can feel awkward, definitely. And with practice, that can help. It's
It's a
hard to
good
make
one.
it a priority. Yes. Yes. So if we schedule time for self-reflection, it can help prioritize it. And outside distractions make it hard to concentrate, as I get that. Great. Thank you for being transparent and sharing those challenges.
Great.
So finally, the third method to fast track retention is around learning culture. So we're going to chat now about having a learning culture that promotes continuous learning, knowledge sharing, collaboration, and accountability, which can significantly enhance learning retention. Continuous learning encourages learners to view learning as an ongoing, never ending process. It helps reinforce and build upon existing knowledge and encourages learners to stay updated and continually adapt to new information or changes in their industry. When learners share what they've learned with others, they not only help their peers, but also reinforce their own understanding. Explaining a concept to someone else requires a clearer grasp of the material, which enhances retention. Also, receiving information from peers provides different perspectives, which assists in grasping and retaining complex concepts. Working together in a team promotes active engagement with material, allowing learners to discuss, debate, and problem solve collectively, deepening their understanding and helping to imprint the information more firmly in their memory. Accountability in learning comes from structured assessments, peer feedback, and self reflection. This encourages practices can make learning a more enjoyable and rewarding experience. This positive environment can increase motivation and empowerment, which plays a crucial role in effective learning and retention. All right, we've covered a lot during our time together. I hope you find this information useful and can implement some of the ideas to improve your organization's learning and development programs. If you find that you love the ideas but need a little help with implementation, please reach out. We'd love to hear from you. Okay, we do have one final poll. Which topics are you most interested in learning more about? To participate, once again, just scan the QR code or go to menti.com and use the code on the screen.
As we plan more live streams in the future, this really helps us to determine the most relevant content. Also, given the contact info that Brandy shared, you can also just reach out and say, "Hey, we'd love to learn about X, Y, or Z," and we'll do our best to accommodate. So this is very helpful. We have a clear winner, Brandy, so far.
Awesome. Team and leadership development. Great.
It's a big one.
Okay. Yes, thank you all for participating. Tony, we have one more piece of business to take care of, right?
We do, and as I said at the beginning of the broadcast, I hope this works. It might not, but we're going to test it out. So, whichever platform you're joining us on, from YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, go ahead and type the word optimize. That is the buzzword. You have to type optimize in the chat, and we will do a random drawing. Now, unfortunately, StreamYard, the service we're using, doesn't allow comments from everyone. So it might not be from everyone. If we don't feel that it's equitable and a fair drawing for the gift card and book, then we'll find a more equitable way to do it. So go ahead and type optimize wherever you are, and we'll see how this works. Okay, it looks like it is not quite going to work as we did warn. So we will reach out once we do a drawing, kind of behind the scenes. And again, it will be fair and equitable. That's what we're all about. So aside from that, we really appreciate you joining the broadcast today. Brandy, I want to thank you for your time. It's a joy working with you. You bring so much to both our team and to our clients. You're often celebrated. And I think the information you brought today just shows some of the reasons why. So well done. We hope that you can walk away with a few things to consider as you try to accelerate and improve your team's learning retention. With that, we'll end the stream and hope you have a great rest of the day. Thanks, everyone.
Yes. Thank you. Bye, everyone.